What up, guys? It is your big, bold, bad boy Jules here with another episode of the most insane things that are happening in wrestling this week. Now, much like a bukkake, there's a lot to cover, so let's just whack on with it, all right? You know what it means. Hit that intro. So, let's begin with the sad announcement that WWE has done a bit of autumn cleaning and got rid of Summer Rae, Darren Young, and Emma. Now, Darren Young, don't really give a toss about, didn't remember that Summer Rae even worked for the company, but Emma, now that was a bit of a surprise. Yet the interesting thing comes not with her release, but actually her reaction to it. Now, a lot of wrestlers keep up their persona on their online social media accounts. I mean, check out Kevin Owens, he is legit fire. But some take it a bit too far, and there's definitely a line that should not be crossed. Hello, Lio Rush. Yes, the up-and-coming NXT superstar clearly didn't get the message about what should and should not be tweeted when he messaged Emma this. I guess these are things that happen when you're not truly ready for Asuka. Right, Leo, mate, just a bit of advice from me to you. Maybe you shouldn't take swings at people who were on the main roster when you're in developmental. And maybe they could probably sell a table better than you could. Check out CZW if you don't know what I'm talking about. It was a severe lack of judgment on behalf of the young superstar, and he does not have the social media clout to pull it off. Much like his paintbrush hair insinuates, he was being an absolute tool. Now, Ed Leslie has had as many gimmicks throughout his wrestling career as I've had morning beers this week. Quite a lot. Besides being a barber, a weird sort of Mexican snake man, and some bodybuilding twat, he's also played the role of a man who disappears up his own arse. This man owes a lot to Hulk Hogan because he basically gave his career an everlasting rub, but he's decided now, of all times, to release a tell-all book about the Hulkster. Now, Hogan has been outed as a racist, a pathological liar, a self-absorbed narcissist, and a guy who fancies his own daughter. What more is there to tell? Still, it's going ahead, and we can all look forward to not reading it together. I'll tell you what though, if it's actually called Et tu Brutus, I might actually read it. I won't read it. Okay, time for my weekly moan. I know that a lot of you out there don't really like it when I do this, but at the same time, I work f***ing hard. I deserve this. I don't like Stephanie McMahon. I don't like the way that she swans down to the ring, rips the shit out of people, acts like an absolute heel, and never gets comeuppance. And I'm not talking about being pushed through a table. That was weak sauce. I want to see her hit harder than that. I'm not advocating violence against women. What I'm trying to say is that for a heel of this caliber, she never gets her due. Now, I'm not asking for a callback to the old days of Vince versus Stone Cold Steve Austin when he's twatting him in the head with a bedpan, but I'm not saying that I don't want that. Is that enough double negatives? You've got to admit you missed me just a little bit. She gurned recently on Raw. I've missed you about as much as I've missed Alberto Del Rio. Not a f***ing bit. Right, so remember back when I started this show and I read out what Ultimate Warrior had said about Bobby Heenan's throat cancer? It wasn't nice. Also, that's actually just reminded me that we've been going for a month now. So, celebrations! Serve the firearms! Brilliant. Yes, it wasn't nice at all, but there's now been a bit of a twist. Well, it turns out that Dana Warrior, aka the person who is now the spokeswoman for their breast cancer awareness campaign for the WWE, said that he'd actually changed his mind. This is the statement that she said. I will not be disloyal to my husband's memory or speak ill of a man who is not here to defend himself. I can, however, tell you his heart was changed by conversations with his two daughters. The true testament of the man behind the character is his ability to evolve. My husband did just that. Okay, I mean, fair enough. Sounds like absolute bullshit. You're telling me that the Ultimate Warrior just changed his mind a few days before he died, and it just so happened to be about the subject that is now causing a bit of fuss. The Warrior held some weird beliefs, some horrible beliefs, and he was staunch to defend them, so I do not see this as being true. Right, while the hashtag siege might be more than a little clunky, there is no fat to the back and forth promos cut by The Miz and Baron Corbin this week. Their clash at Survivor Series might be looking a little dry, but their iPhone head-to-head, now that was gold. Now, Corbin is generically tough and gruff in this, but The Miz is going insane. Calling into line his work with the Intercontinental Championship and how he's carried it and elevated it for so long, he then uses that weight to accuse Baron Corbin of not doing the same with the United States Championship, saying that, in fact, the belt was elevating him rather than the other way around. And then he put on a nice little caveat by saying, "I'm gonna punch your teeth down your throat." It goes to show that not only is The Miz one of the best promo cutters in the WWE, but probably in the business as a whole. I really want to see more of this, and it is so impressive to see what can be cut down from a 15-minute promo down to a 2. Succinct and vicious. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Michael Sidgwick usually writes the scripts for these videos and I just come in and adapt them. And he wanted to put this last entry on the relationship between Braun Strowman and Kane, basically saying that Kane is a part-timer who's just come back and he's already squashing people who maybe deserve a chance more than he does, definitely in his case. And he's just trying to basically be elevated up to Braun Strowman, who's basically lost a bit of heat after losing against Brock Lesnar. So it's kind of like keeping one simmering while raising the other. And basically, Sidgwick just wanted to say, that's not fair. However, I want to talk about something that just made me laugh. It just made me absolutely piss myself, and that is Braun Strowman, the bin monster. So back at TLC, we saw that Braun Strowman got thrown into a garbage truck, and then that was it for a whole week. Then he came back in a different garbage truck. Now, I know wrestling's weird and it's not meant to be taken fully seriously, but I just found this absolutely hilarious that, in theory, they were trying to sell it to us that he'd been thrown in, crushed, lived in there for a week, and then burst out from a different one. If we just assume it was meant to be the same one, that makes him the equivalent, the WWE equivalent of Oscar the Grouch. Absolutely brilliant. Laughed my ass off when I saw that. And that's been the most insane things that have been happening in wrestling this week. Thank you very much for getting to the end of the video. And as per usual, I will now read out my favorite comment from last week's episode. Self-deprecation isn't going to make me like you more, dude. I don't need your approval. You're not my dad. Even if you did leave. Nah, I'm fine, you. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I would like to thank Michael Sidgwick and Phil Chambers for their continued work on this series. Big love to you boys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below because I will read all of them, and possibly, as I've just proved, choose my favorite for next week. As always, I've been Jules. You've been awesome. Swing by whatculture.com, and I'll see you soon. You're welcome. Oh, wasn't that something? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe below. And also, the people who made this lovely video, they're appearing right here. But if you're thinking to yourself, I want to see more content, Jules, then why not look above my head? As there probably is some. I don't know. I can't see it. Until next time.